Hi everyone, I'm Bon and welcome back to Everyday Chatterbox. Today we have the pleasure of having Erin with us, and she's going to be telling us about something that happened to her when she was 24 that you would never expect. She went into sudden cardiac arrest. So we'll discuss that with you in a minute. Thank you so much for coming on, Erin. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on this beautiful space.
Always a pleasure to hang out with you. So what we do here at Everyday Chatterbox to start off with, we have this little glass full of random questions. So it's just a little bit of an icebreaker. So I'm going to give you these. You can shuffle, you can do whatever you like, and choose 3, but don't open them.
Like a little lucky dip.
It is. It's exactly what it is. You don't know what you're going to get in there. So hand those to me, and I am going to ask you these questions. So question 1, we have, what is something that you love to do, like a hobby, or something that just not many people know about?
I'd probably say meditation. Meditation, adventuring, nature.
Yeah, it's like to get outdoors, go hiking, or just be at one with nature.
Just be at one with nature. So just connect back to source, I guess, the interconnection that we have with Mother Gaia and just the energy and
grounding yourself.
And just all of the beauty that comes from that space within your own self, but also the beauty of the world and everything that we do.
Just appreciating everything around you.
Goodness.
Do you hug trees?
Oh God, yeah.
You do? I've been wanting to hug a tree for a long time, and I keep forgetting, but apparently the energy that comes back.
So trees actually remove, fun fact, scientifically as well. It actually, so when you hug a tree, it removes negative energy from your aura.
Yes.
And obviously trees inhale, carbon dioxide, which is what we exhale. Yeah. And they produce oxygen, which we inhale. So when you hug a tree, you're not only removing your negative energy from your aura, but you're also connecting more deeply to the wholeness that we have with them.
Yeah, so taking the shit basically, giving you back peace, and I'm going to try it.
I'm that tree hugger that you see, people from driving past, and there'll be a tree, and I'm hugging. It's so good for grounding.
Oh, no, just every now and then I remember, I think, oh shit, I was supposed to hug a tree, but it's always forget. All right, so question 2, what advice would you give to your younger self if you could go back in time?
Gosh, this is such a hard one.
Doesn't have to be a million, just one thing that you think that you could go back and tell her, young Erin, that would have maybe swayed the journey that you've been on, or changed something, some kind of dramatic outcome in your life. Or
I think the advice is going to be forever changing, but right now would be to trust thyself. Return to self, trust yourself. Through your intuition,
that little inner voice, actually listen to it.
Yeah, that feeling. Don't dismiss it. Trust thyself. You know best.
Yeah, I agree. You keep that in mind throughout your whole life. If you're ever in doubt,
trust thyself.
Yes. You're going to hear my voice in your head one day, just you'll be thinking, you'll be like, yes. All right, and question 3, last one. What is the number 1 beauty product you can't live without?
Lashes.
Everyone's saying that lately.
Yeah. There's just something about them, you feel better. I don't know, obviously. It just
gives you the confidence to get up every day. Also, you don't have to put on any makeup or anything.
Yeah. And even then, I've had a battle with obviously having lashes, because the beauty about, today, nowadays, we've got mirrors. Back in the day, we didn't have mirrors. So what is it now about lashes that, makes us feel better about ourselves if we don't see ourselves as much, or if we're not really, having that connection of looking at ourselves in the mirror, therefore I know I look good.
But we're always in our phones taking selfies and things like that too.
But if we didn't have that, would we still choose lashes? So that's the question that I've kind of gone with.
If you had no mirror at all? Probably not. You wouldn't be seeing yourself, you'd just be
that's it.
presenting.
That's why I guess I'm still, because obviously having them on, I see them. And that's where that confidence comes from. It's almost like an extra protection.
I've talked to so many people about the different things they get from lashes, and for most it's confidence. Even right all the way down to they just open people's eyes up a little bit more, and the eyes are the window to the soul. So we could go into the whole behind it, what people that they're attracted to or whatever. And even men, it comes down to men notice the lashes because your eyes are open, and there's a whole thing behind it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that today. What I want you to do is talk us through your journey and what happened with your heart, because I was absolutely amazed when I think I saw it on Facebook or something at some point that you'd been unwell, and I was like, holy hell, what happened to you here? Can you take us back to when you went into cardiac arrest? Because I know you've always been fit and healthy, and so I think that's what shocked me the most when I kind of saw it. I was like, oh my God, did she take a shit ton of drugs and did something happen? Like, that was, at the time, I was like, oh my God, she's like super fit. I think you were even going in fitness, health comps and stuff, weren't you, at the time, like bodybuilding kind of comps? And
I was in a pre-season for my rugby.
Yeah, okay.
So going into the peak of a new season, and always been into the fitness industry, as you've known. 15 years old, began my bodybuilding industry, trained, competed, done rugby union. Yeah.
So you've always been super fit.
Yeah.
Someone that's been super,
as far as I can remember. Yeah. Even before age 15, when I had my first bodybuilding show, I've always been into fitness of some sort, whether it's hockey.
Yeah.
I've always been.
I didn't know you played hockey.
I played hockey back in the day, but I've always been into that. So it was a massive shock to my system. It was a massive shock for everyone as well. For me, there's so many different key components of my life at the time, but what happened was I went down for an afternoon nap. So I did have a night out night prior.
Yeah.
I didn't get home till 3 a.m.
So you're out partying, drinking, having fun.
Drinks.
It's a late night.
I don't remember taking anything. That was obviously a bit of a shock with what happened, but so I was very conscious, especially with going into that rugby season, the level that I was playing at, you do get tested, so you've got to be really cautious. And younger days, you try it, you learn, it's not for you. But I had a nap in the afternoon, and I remember the alarm was set for 3:30 in the afternoon because I had work that night. And I always say I went down for a nap because I didn't actually technically wake from the nap
back up.
Whether it's the alarm that triggered it, whether it's I had a cardiac arrest during my rest state, I've got no idea. But basically, I went down for a nap, woke up, had a cardiac arrest. I was very lucky and blessed at the time that my female housemate, she was working right downstairs underneath where my room was. And she heard some noises. She left it for a few minutes. She heard some really weird noises and ruckusing and everything else. And I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but
she's doing something up there.
So I don't know what's going on with those noises, but so she told me she left it for a few minutes, and I said I better go check. And to her surprise, I was on the floor and was in a cardiac arrest.
So you'd fallen out of bed, or did you get up? Like, do you remember waking up?
Anything.
You don't,
and that's why I say I went for a sleep. Because I have no memory recollection, and throughout the whole time I've been in the hospital, she did the compression CPR, so there was no physical mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. She was on the phone to emergency services.
So she's come up to your room.
Yeah.
After all this commotion, she's hearing noises. She's come up. She's found you on the floor.
Yeah. And she felt really guilty because she didn't come up sooner.
No, she wasn't to know.
Yeah, and that's it.
You could have been doing aerobics up there for dancing,
some
whatever.
Stuff, recentering, but she was just like, something's not right for it to continue to go. So, intuition for her led her to go up there, and so it was interesting. She called emergency services, and I've never in my life had so many emergency services. We had motorbike first, we had fire, ambulance, and police, and we even had SES come out to the house.
So they all responded really quickly. It's awesome to know.
Right there, and from that point I was in hospital, I was in ICU, I was in a coma on life support for 3 days. Yeah. And
so your parents were called in amongst all this, obviously, and came to the hospital.
Yeah, they came, and very lucky that they were able to stay at, I forget where they stayed, but they stayed, I think they might have stayed at my house in Sydney at the time, but they had space to stay, so mum and dad came up obviously immediately. In total, I was in hospital for 7 days, so out of that life support period where I was on that life support, when I did come back to it and come conscious, that was removed. I was still in ICU. We had a whole lot of tests done to, assess and to try and figure out
what happened. So they kept you in an induced coma for the first 3 days.
Yeah, it wasn't induced.
It wasn't? Actually, you were actually in a coma yourself. Okay.
And I was talking to Mum, and there were times I came out of a coma, but they had to induce me back into it because I was still, very...
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I didn't know what was going on. There's periods of time where, I might have been a bit aggressive because of where I was and obviously disorientation.
Yeah.
But when I did get put onto ICU, it was as a result of being clinically dead. So it was a period of time where they're like, you clinically, there's nothing there, but we'll put you on ICU and, life support and do our best to try and see if we can recover from that. And that was where obviously, Mum, for instance, had to go through the process of do we turn life support off?
Yeah, because there would have been so many concerns about brain damage and,
That was the biggest one with brain damage.
Yeah.
When I came out of it, and obviously the whole process leading up after everything's happened, only 1 in a million, like 1% of people come back with full consciousness.
So you're lucky.
You're
the lucky one.
God-miracle. Like even the ambulance, the hospital, there's potential that I may have short-term memory loss.
Yeah.
But
do you think you do? What's my name? No, seriously. Do you feel like you?
I don't
at
think
times,
so.
no.
Look, at times I can see where people potentially may get that from, but I also think that I've always been like that because there's times where I'll be like, "Oh, did I tell you about this story?" And they're like, "Yeah, you did the other day. Like, do you remember that?" And it's just like, I forget.
But that could be stress too. Stress levels. Stress
and
does
it's also
horrible
because
things.
we're always moving at a forward pace. We don't necessarily, or at least where I've gotten to is, I don't necessarily look or think about the past. And a massive component of that is having that cardiac. Because, when you go from a point of being so healthy and fit to all of a sudden death's in front of you and you're basically clinically dead and, you're put on life support and being a young age and being in the fitness industry and everything else, it's like you could be doing everything right, but tomorrow, the next second's not promised.
We're vulnerable. Yeah. We tend to overlook it, I think.
100%.
I think every now and then you have a moment of like, oh my God, it could be me, I could be gone tomorrow, but then you choose not to think about it because it makes us vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you're saying you've just learnt to live in the moment, live every day.
Be present.
Yeah.
And I guess the awareness that comes from that too is the past and the present are both, well, I should say the future, which is anxiety, stress, and past, depression, and anxiety are all made in the present regardless.
Yeah.
Because the past is a construct made by the mind in the current present moment.
Yeah, and if we think about the past, like if you pick one instance, and I did read this somewhere, it was interesting to me, if you pick one memory from the past, and it might have happened 10 years ago, but if you keep thinking about that memory over and over, and then it's slowly, little details of that can change, but your mind believes that to be real. It's crazy, isn't it?
And that's where I've learned that the past is purely just the last time you thought about it. It's never actually the truth. It's never actually the past. It's the last time you thought about it.
Yeah.
And obviously your brain's always going to be changing and shifting things, which is why, for me personally, what I try and consistently remind myself is the past doesn't matter. The future doesn't matter. What matters is the here and now.
Right now matters.
And you've got to also understand and respect that the past has created up to this point who you are and where you're at. So you've got to have respect for it, but you also can't get caught up in that past because it's no longer existing.
And you can change at any point. 100%. See, I think this is one thing that gets me all the time is I see people that, I know we're going off topic, but I see people that make dramatic changes in their lives. Like whether it's looks or personality, they might get up and go, I'm sick of being like this, I'm going to present differently. So they work on their image and, change themselves. And other people struggle to accept that.
It's a conscious choice, and my experience is it's consciousness. You've got
being self-aware and trying to change.
100%.
I get that, but I'm saying what gets me is other people then struggle to accept that change in people. Like it's not that they almost don't want to allow them to change because they've known them a certain way for so long that then when someone steps up and goes, "This is me now. This is who I'm choosing to be," other people are just not so.
It
quick
comes
to be
from
accepting.
A subconscious, because a lot of people are running off. You've got your subconscious in your mind, so obviously your subconscious is doing what you've always done. Your neurological pathways fire together. So you've got collective unconscious per se that are those people that some may say are closed-minded, small-minded people. They don't see
They don't allow for change.
Yeah, and they can't even within their own selves become aware, that consciousness within themselves of, you know, what it is that they're doing, the reasons they're doing it, which is where it is such a bizarre time to be human, you know, because you've got to manage and you've got to interact with people that are so unconscious of their own selves, let alone the awareness that people do change, because it's got, I wouldn't say small-minded, but it's just, it's unconscious people. And you've got the conscious people, and then, you know, when you get older too, you realise all this because it's happening.
You're blown away by the things you learn. Just the little bits of wisdom. It's like, oh my God.
It's like they're saying that when they say don't wish your life away as a kid, like, before you know it, your life's just going steamballing. And then, not to mention, you know, anything at any time can happen to any one of us, and you know, nothing's ever really promised, and the importance of being here and now and being fully present with whatever it is that you are doing, being authentic within that, with your consciousness and with your heart, and the knowingness that, you know, are you doing the right things for the right reason? Are you doing the right things for yourself in the best interest, you know,
and for others? Really
be, you know, raw and honest with yourself. And even if you're doing things because of your unconscious mind that you might not have completely got rid of, because everything takes time, including healing process, you know, 6 months to heal from this. And
take us back. So you're in the hospital at this stage, 7 days.
And on the 7th
so mum and dad are there, you're coming in and out of the coma. So have they discovered by this point that there's no brain damage, or they're still not sure? They're still just doing a lot of tests?
Just doing a lot of tests. There was, I was really grateful and thankful. My female housemate that found me, she took a lot of time off work. So I had my family support. I also had my housemate support. So I'd come to hospital quite regularly and spent a lot of time with me. My female housemate did a lot of things for the short-term memory loss. Because, you know, being on the medication and coming out of a coma and coming out of the cardiac arrest, like, I was so disorientated. There was many times where I tried leaving hospital.
Like, just get up and leave.
I did. And Dad tells me stories where, like, the security guards are like, she's strong. Like, you've got to come sort her out. We can't. Like, it's just the amount of times, like, I think it was every single day, I was like, no, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out of here. And I've got no memory recollection of any of this. And, you know, my house.
Well, that might be the short-term memory loss, and maybe your body's, I don't know, your mind might have blocked it out too. It's a traumatic experience.
They have me on a lot of sedation because of
just to keep calm.
Because I'm so disoriented,
and probably to keep everything calm, your heart, the whole lot, because they don't know if it's going to happen again if they still didn't know what caused it. At this point,
they ran a lot of tests. The blood test came back after, obviously, you know, seeing what it was, and they're like, we can't see anything in your blood test that would have caused it, so we've got no idea. So the next protocol was, it was nothing that was clear in sight per se on the spot. It's like, this is what's caused it. You know, you've got X in your system.
Well, they're looking at you and you're a young, fit, healthy woman. Like, why all of a sudden have you gone into cardiac arrest?
So from that point, they're like, okay, we'll do some genetic testing. They took blood tests, sent that off to the genetic labs to try and see whether or not potentially it was genetic related. And I guess towards the end of it, the 7 days, especially because I was such a pain, they were like, okay, we need to just do something and get you out. So the best and the safest option for them was to do a SICD, which is a pacemaker defibrillator.
So this is a little box that we can see here?
So it's got two cables that runs into each artery of my heart. And they're like a little thing like this with a cable that sits into the arteries. It's kind of mended now, so it's there permanently. I did ask them to remove it.
I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you about that after, because I have recently come across stories of people who have actually successfully had them removed a bit later on. So not that I want to put anything in there, but I think there's always progress. There's always Anyway, so they've put this in. So you agreed to have this done?
No,
you did not.
So I personally didn't agree to it.
Right? Was this put in initially when you were first in there, or was this later on?
Later on. Okay. So on the seventh day, or on the 8th day, because I think it was in hospital total of 9-10 days. But on the 7th, or later days towards the end, they're like, okay, look, it's better to be safe than sorry, and it's a recovery thing from the hospital's perspective too. We can't just let you go with cardiac arrest.
And we've done nothing. And so we still don't know why this has happened to you.
So there's a risk you're going to have it again, and you know, because I wasn't in a state of consciousness and mind where I could be like, yeah, I do or don't want it, they then had to ask my parents to whether or not, you know, they can consent for me.
Yes.
And they decided to consent. Obviously, I guess it's protection, and they know, you know,
well, they didn't want to lose you.
Yeah, that's it.
And they've just been through all this
trauma,
stress surrounding what's happened.
The thought of, do we need to turn our daughter's life support off? That's huge. And, you know, having that conversation with my parents after the experience as well, especially with my mother, it's like, you know, I've been through so many lives with all that fun life-death things that it's like, it's, you can only
empathise.
That word. I was like, I'm getting now. You can only, you know, put yourself in their shoes and go, I can see why they did sign for it. So they signed to get it put in. I had it put in. The next day I was at a hospital.
Right. So were you angry that they'd agreed to have this done or not? Like you're saying later on you empathised with them. At the time when you first realised that it was put in?
You
felt like you just had no say in what happened?
You know, and I feel like at the end of the day, because it is my body, it's like it would have been nice to be at a point of consciousness where I wasn't on medications that, you know, the hospital was giving me, where I could think and actually process things and go, okay, you know, do I want to have this in me for the rest of my life? Like, how is it going to look? And, you know, even have somebody sit down, it was kind of like I over my own body had no say in the situation. And, you know, by all means, I don't blame my parents, but I have spoken to them a couple of times about it, that, you know, it does suck, because if I could have it my way, I wouldn't have got it.
You wouldn't have.
And that's just...
So talk us through what it actually does. So your parents, I mean, like you said, they've been through this trauma of almost losing their daughter. They've made the decision to have this little box, whatever you called it. SS. What, have you nicknamed it?
No, I think I have, but I forget. Like, I call it my second heart.
Your second heart, we'll call her that. So what does it actually do? What's the purpose of it?
So the SICD is a pacemaker and a defibrillator. Because they didn't know what was going on, it was like we need to tick both boxes. So pacemaker and defib, because they couldn't tell what was wrong with the heart. So pacemaker component is if my heart rate drops below a certain heartbeat, it then kicks in
and keeps your heart working,
beats and paces itself. So the wires, and which has been difficult because I have a resting heart rate at 40, 37 normally, and they had it at 40. So when I try and meditate, all I could feel was
it's going too fast for you.
Gosh, I couldn't relax. It was causing me anxiety and panic. So the pacemaker component's been turned off because I was like, I can't, you know, I meditate.
Well, you don't really need a pacemaker, I think, with...
correct. And that was the thing, you know, it really affected so much of what I was doing, to the point where I was like, it's causing a lot of mental...
Yeah, even at the gym and stuff like that, it'd be making things different, right? So your heart's working normally, but then you've got this other kind of current that's...
trying to... And
would your heart then try and match that? Like, how...
Because the wires are in the actual physical heart, it's... basically the machine takes onus over the heart.
So your heart's just going to be doing whatever that machine wants it to do.
Correct. And that's why it was so difficult, especially during meditation, when you do go within and you become very aware of your body. You can feel, and you just know, and you just like... It's wrong. It's not working right. But it's really good that they can turn that off. I'm so grateful. Like, for ages, it took me probably a year and a half for them to agree with it, because I was like, oh, we'll turn it down.
Is it controlled by a remote? May I just ask, like, how did they, like, so at some point later, as you get older, and I'm talking like down the track, maybe you need that pacemaker element switch back on, they can do that?
I have to go to a hospital. So they can't have a machine and, you know, Bluetooth wise or something. But there is a machine in the hospital that they have, that they put over there, that reads, that they make changes whilst you're physically there. That's done via a machine that gets sent, but you've got to have that initial contact connection before anything can be shifted or moved or anything like that. The other component of it is the main focus of the reason they put it in is the defibrillator. So if my heart goes into another irregular heartbeat, or, you know,
another cardiac arrest,
it then kicks in, and it will be like those machines just in my chest, and it will just
bring you back to life.
Give me a siren that sounds like a little ambulance. They've played it for me once before.
It actually does that. It says, wow.
It's got 3 of them.
Yeah, okay.
One is a beep, and I've had this happen before in Queensland in a car park, and I was hearing random beeps, like a really long, loud beep. And I was like, what is the beep? Where's it coming from? And the 3rd time it started beeping, I was like,
it's me.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what's going on? I freaked out, called them, and everything was fine. But yeah, when I went to get it checked, there's a beep for basically battery, so battery maintenance. If you're too close to a magnet, too close to a mobile phone. Yeah. So I can't go through magnets with it. Yeah. It will set it off and just freak it out.
So what do you do at the airport and stuff like that when they're just like,
kind of a blessing to get the emails. Yeah. I saw it like that. I was like, I'm actually kind of okay with that because I don't have to have extra emails. Yeah. So I'm cool with that. But can't get any magnets, so that means I think it's CAT scans or MRI. Yeah. One of those I can't get. Yep. Yeah, if a magnet goes near it, it can trigger it, so just got to be careful. Yeah, okay. And yeah, the siren is literally like an ambulance. Like it goes. So
it's designed to bring people to you should 100%. Something happen, and it has to kick in.
Yeah, and I've got a little card, so basically as soon as that happens, go to hospital. Yeah. The 3rd noise that it makes is a consistent beep for 30 seconds. Yeah. And that beep happens at 7 a.m. I've just got clarity on this, 7 a.m. every single day until I go to hospital, because it's picked up an irregular heartbeat.
Right, so it wants you to go and get checked.
Correct, yeah. And all of my heart, just throughout every day, is monitored by it. So I've got a little device at home that I put over the top of it that sends it to somebody remotely who reads it. Yeah. And if something irregular comes up, they'll give me a call.
And tell you to go to the doctor or the hospital.
They'll just ask. Like, I've had it happen before. There was 2 irregular heartbeats that were similar to the one I had a cardiac arrest with. Right. One went for 18 seconds, the other went for 20 seconds. Yes. It charges up for 30, and if nothing goes back to a regular heartbeat, 30 seconds it defibs. So I was really lucky by a few seconds that it didn't.
So it has never done that?
No.
Touch wood? Yeah.
Touch wood?
Okay, it hasn't had to?
No. Yeah. No.
But they've explained the process to you if it does?
Yeah. And then it was...
So it's like having the paddles basically, but it's already in your heart, already attached. It'll just...
Yeah, it will do it.
Your heart starting.
Yeah. So it'll just get my heart started, go to hospital.
So it's kind of comforting in a way, I guess, that
it's 50-50. Yeah. It's one of those things that it's left up to interpretation because, I guess the way I can see it is I do have a chance at a second life if something was to happen. Yes. But then there's another part of me that's like, okay, but if something does happen, that is God's will. Like it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's going to keep you living. Correct. Should you not? Yeah, if it's your time's up.
That 50-50 of, it's a perspective thing. It's one of those things.
Yeah, but you can look at that like it was put in there for a reason. So there might be 3 or 4 times in your life where you're not, your time's not up, and it'll just ensure that you're still here.
Well, that's
look at it. It's got to be positive. So take us back to after hospital. You're saying 9 or 10 days you're out. So you've had this surgery. You've woken up.
Yep.
And then they just say go home now.
Yep. So as soon as I got this in, it was basically out you go.
Right. So what happens there? Was there rest and recovery? Were you told, how did it change your life from there? Like, I want to know, were you still able to go on with your life like normal, or did it have some kind of big impact? And also, what were the results? What came back? Did they find out a cause of your cardiac arrest?
Funny story.
All of it. Tell me all of it.
There's a lot of funny things. So recovery process was 6 months. So 6 months of getting this in, I couldn't do any overhead, couldn't really even do the mopping up the floors, I couldn't train at the gym, I couldn't do any exercise, couldn't do cardio. It was basically a 6 month of you cannot do anything but
just
recover.
Rest.
Yes, and that was incredibly difficult for many different reasons, especially because fitness and anything exercise and health related has been such an outlet for me. So having that completely stripped away from me was quite difficult, and also not knowing what it would look like after coming out of that 6 month period. Can I go back to the gym? Can I play rugby union again? And
because you would have been quite fearful of doing anything and not knowing how it's going to respond.
And it was also the mental component of the things like, can I wash my hair? Is it going to, change a wire? Is the machine going to drop out?
So stitched in there, right? I mean, I can see that it's literally inside your skin. So the scar's just about completely faded too. That's all great work.
Well, it sucks because in 10 or less than 10 years now, but 10 years, every 10 years you've got to get it reopened
and get them changed.
Replaced.
Okay, for the battery, I suppose.
So, 6-month recovery process again that I now know, and
every time
all this stuff. But basically what happens is they put it in there, the wires go in, the wires are kind of fine. The reason they say don't move is because the wires track out of the heart, and I did have to go back to hospital because the wires were tracking out of the heart, so my body was basically rejecting the cables, which is like no, and that was under no exercise.
Okay.
Your body, where they put it, I'm not certain where they put it in, your body basically naturally creates a pocket and basically holds it in place.
It's kind of same with breast implants, I suppose. You put a capsule.
So it's put into a little pocket where your body naturally heals, which is why you can't do heaps of exercise or just any exercise, and then they just stitch over the top where they've had to open to let everything in. But that was the only concern, is making sure it didn't fall out of the pocket, which can happen still to this day. I can do something and it can still fall out of the pocket.
Split the pocket and it
so
moves.
A lot of things, but that's basically all they said. I couldn't shower. I had to put over the stitches.
General healing from surgery. Yeah.
Once the scarring healed and everything else, it was still 6 months. Still can't do anything. Couldn't drive for 6 months as well. That was another thing too.
Why couldn't you drive for 6 months?
Anytime you have a cardiac arrest or heart attack or anything to do with that, legalities is you're not allowed to drive for 6 months.
Okay, like you've got to be reassessed at 6 months or something?
Well, yeah, so basically I can drive now, everything's fine. If I was to have something happen,
then it puts you back another 6 months.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and it's just for the safety of the other people.
Yeah,
and, it's
that's
not
understandable.
Necessarily
and for
monitored,
yourself.
But it's also kind of like part of the law. So
well, you'd have that fear, wouldn't you? Because, I mean, you didn't know that you were going to have a nap and you were going to potentially 100%. Not wake up from that nap. So at any point in that 6 months, you've got to be super aware that, well, your whole life really. Well, not so much now, but I mean, even then, you look at that, if you're driving now and your little heart starter box kicks into gear, like it's going to have some impact on, 100%. Maybe you'll feel something and you pull over straight away or... Yeah. I was really lucky. Like I always said, the universe will always give you what you need at the right time. But when I was working after having this in, I couldn't work either. So I couldn't work for 6 months. So you just went on some kind of benefit from Centrelink or something? Like how did that? Your income. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The process was really difficult, but medically exempt, unable to work. When I returned back to work, one of the girls that I was working with, she had the exact same thing, and she had a pacemaker. Like the universe gave me exactly what I needed.
The people you needed to be around.
And she had a same space, and she had another incident of a cardiac arrest after having it in. Yeah. Because I was feeling things, and there was times I was like, oh my God, like, is it happening?
You don't know. Did they talked you through it? Surely they gave you some idea of...
A little bit, but not enough.
Because everyone's probably different, right? Yeah. So everyone's responses are going to be different.
100%. Yeah. And when I spoke to the lady that has had the exact thing, she was like, when you have a cardiac and it goes, when your defib goes, you'll know about it. It's like a kick in the chest. Like, she'll know about it. Because I asked her, I was like, I'm feeling this in my chest, and like it's feeling like this, and I'm waking up at night and it feels like it's kicking me, and something's happening. She goes, you'll know, like you'll know.
Yes, it kind of makes you a bit fearful for it to actually have to happen, right? So hopefully it never has to, because it's like...
That's the thing, like when she told me about it, I was like, oh God, please never. Like that's just, because apparently it hurts too. She's like, it hurts, but it's like a kick in the chest.
Yeah, which I imagine that in itself would put you back a couple of days and you'd have to rest. And
100%, she said it takes a while to recover.
Yeah, so I was really concerned when I heard all about this. I think I reached out to you afterwards and we spoke, because I said, how does it, like with you being so fit, and fitness is a massive part of your life, and so you're saying you couldn't exercise for 6 months then. So when you started going, because I think at the time I spoke to you, you said, oh my God, I can't even go to the gym. Like, I don't know if I can ever go to the gym again. And so clearly you have, because you look fantastic. So it hasn't impacted that at all? Like, you're comfortable now where you're at doing everything like you would do before?
Yes and no. Like, it's taken me, I think it's taken me 2 years to get to where I'm at the moment with my training. When I was able
just a bit slower than before? You're doing it a bit slower, or you're still going hard?
I mean, I've completely had to change my whole training style, chronic pain related as well. But when I first started going back to the gym after that 6 months, I've got videos where this arm, because of where the cables are, my arm would just fill up with blood, and just like the circulation on this arm's not correct. And like I'm currently going through the process of having to go back up to the Royal Prince Alfred to potentially get surgery because of a concern of thoracic outlet syndrome, which is basically where they've put the wires is compressing against an artery.
Yeah, okay, so which is causing the problems with your arm.
So anything overhead or even hanging stops, it presses against the artery because where the wires are inside.
Yeah, which then can cause other problems.
Yeah, which causes fainting and stuff. So when I first started training, I was devastated because I couldn't go in and train how I used to. I couldn't go in and, you know, the videos is this arm was just fully pumped of blood. It went purple, like it was white. And still to this day, I have moments where I wake up and there's circulation issues where the hand's just purple in comparison. And, you know, I feel the cold so much more. I'm not like being cold-hearted.
Yeah, well, you have got a little metal pack in there.
But, like it's taken 2 years, you know, and the thing that's sad is there was no rehabilitation coming out of that process from the hospital or from anyone.
So it's just pretty much, this is it now, go live your life.
Yeah, do whatever and find out for yourself. So it wasn't like, you know, if you want to go back into training, this is what we could do and this is how you should do it, this is how you should train, this is how you should rebuild strength and, you know, this is what's recommended, not recommended. It was kind of just like it's a box ticked. They don't care.
Yeah.
And, you know, even the process of trying to get this fixed is a whole story for another day, but it's taken 2 years of, you know, ups and downs, mental, physical, learning and just returning to self and just being kind through this process to finally be where I'm at, to be able to train the way I'm training and get the results that I'm getting. Yeah. And a big part of that was Pilates and yoga and even doing
slower kind of.
Yeah, but even doing Pilates, like when I first went back and started doing it, like, and still to this day, I have problems with this arm.
Yeah. So you just got to be aware that.
Yeah, and just listen to my body. And like, there's days at Pilates where I can't do certain things. I can't pull or I can't push because this arm, just the pump or the circulation or something feels off.
It's just different.
To respect and honour that.
There's some people that are probably sitting here watching us now and just thinking, oh my God, like you're alive and here you are complaining about, you know, your circulation. But I'm sitting here, I'm just looking at a woman that's like, okay, I've had all this stuff done. There's something, you know, I didn't choose to happen and now I've pretty much come out of it and I'm struggling to try and maneuver what I can do. Does it look like they're going to fix all this for you? Like I hope they do.
Who knows? Like, it's one of those things, like...
Or is it just one of those, okay, this is how it is now, so learn to live with it and work around it?
It would be one of those things, if it does come back, thoracic outlet syndrome, it would be surgery again.
Yes,
which would mean it's a fresh restart, 6 months.
6 months of nothing again.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things that I have to speak and obviously toss up whether or not it's even worth it for my own benefit or whether or not I just continue to do what I'm doing.
And just be mindful of what you can and can't do.
And just honour myself on those days and, you know, be kind to myself when I am having those moments because, you know, for me, and for I'm sure many people, when we go to the gym and we train or do anything that we love, we throw our all in there. And if you've got anger, resentment, sad, hurt, you throw yourself into that. So training was an outlet of expressing and releasing that. So to have that taken away and not be able to go all in, and even in the moments where it's even light work and I have those niggling, not to throw myself all in, it's to return to self and to not be even worse and more angry. Because to begin with, I was so angry and so upset. I just have breakdowns, you know.
Well, the gym's therapy, isn't it, in so many ways? Like you've just said, it's therapy, and then you've had this whole part of your lifestyle that was massive, put on the back burner.
100%.
Yeah, and even now, like you're saying, you're training so differently.
Yeah,
that you're not getting that therapy from it.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
That I'm at, like, it's like, okay, I need to find different outlets because even now, you know, the gym and Pilates and all that stuff, it's...
So you do reformer?
Yeah, so I do reformer, yoga, and just gym, and just, you know, weights, but that's not an outlet. That's lifestyle.
Yes.
That's just, you know, better body, better mind, better spiritual health and overall well-being. So that's what that is. Whereas before it used to be outlet.
Okay.
So now it's sitting with, I'm doing the right things for the right reasons for a lifestyle choice and for a better way of living and just a better self. How do I now sit with these emotions of what I have lost? Because I think the biggest thing was not being able to ever step foot on the field for rugby again.
Because it's not safe?
No. Because if something was to happen, and I've even gone through the process of, okay, if I put
padding, you could cotton wool yourself.
You know those what are they
Could be the
called?
cotton wool girl.
You use them when you're washing.
The scourers? No, scourers are metal. I'm thinking
it's so simple.
the little scrub daddy kind of things. Is that what you're talking about?
One of those things.
Like, right?
If I put a couple of them on,
yeah,
and then if I wrap that, and then I put extra padding, like a shoulder pad on top, if I could play.
Yeah.
That's where my brain was going, and the whole time has been processing and even speaking to the unions about, like, what does that look like?
Yeah, because they
do that. Like,
they might not want you to play because you might be a risk for them.
It's a risk for me, risk for another person, even with that padding. Because if something was to happen, I go in for a tackle, especially because you go in with your shoulders. If I go in and tackle wrong, I run the risk of knocking this out. I run the risk of potentially causing a sudden cardiac arrest for myself, or I run the risk because
someone headbutts you, and
I can cause injury and damage. So that was the hardest thing because that was the biggest outlet, and I wanted to go to the. And
you're part of a team, so it's taken a lot from you.
Too. Like I joined to have a community and to be a part of something, and because I played prior and I had that community, it was the first time in my life that I actually felt I had support and I had, community and I had a purpose.
Yeah, somewhere where you fit.
Yeah, and I was, just a part of something that was greater than myself. Like, team sport's great.
Yeah.
Just being around a team sport is so good for your mental and physical health. Like, so many benefits. So to have that removed was incredibly challenging and difficult, and even on the back end of it. But there's so many different things that we can do, such as coaching, that are...
You can still be involved in the community.
Yeah, it just means that my way of living and my outlet and, my passions and my goals that I had for that sport are no longer directed at me. It's now how can I support them?
Yeah,
and what
give
can
back
I do
to others.
teach, and what can I do to help others be the best version and no longer make it about me, which I guess the whole process of this is, because there's so many things. Your health is your wealth, and to prioritize, to listen to yourself and to be happy with where you're at and what you're doing is the most important thing, because tomorrow's not promised.
It's still frustrating though that you've had nothing you did cause this, right?
No.
So when we go back there, what did you find? Have you found out what caused it?
Yeah.
I was just trying to say then that, I would be frustrated if I was in your position, and you've learnt to live with the changes, which you've had to because you've had no other choice, but you're still allowed. Like, I'm still getting, I think everyone in your position would be super frustrated. So it's good that you've still found a way to be part of the communities and stuff that you want to be part of.
Yeah. All good things take time, like I say.
Well, maybe that's what you're meant to be doing instead of playing.
Well,
you don't know.
That's it. Like, God gives his strongest battles to the strongest warriors. And I'm like, what is this, God? Please tell me. But it has to be something greater than myself. So after, obviously, the genetic testing got sent off at the hospital, the blood works were taken at the time. This is where I find it a bit funny, and I call it a bit of a conspiracy.
Right.
Because 8-9 months after I was hospitalised, I got a call from the hospital. I'm like, hey, you've got to come back in for blood tests. We've lost your genetic heart testing. I was like, how convenient.
8 or 9 months later.
Yeah.
Does it normally take a long time for these bloods to be
usually
tested?
6 months.
Okay, yeah. Because I know sometimes with certain things it does take a long time.
It does take a long time, but to lose them and to wait 8-9 months.
So now you've got to go have the bloods again and wait another 6 to 9 months.
I'm a bit suspicious because technically, whatever happened at that time would be out of your system by that time.
Okay, yep.
And, I'm a massive conspiracy on what happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge conspiracy. I don't believe it's genetic. I do believe it's something to do with the vaccinations, and there's a lot more coming
I forgot about that part. Yes.
I was vaccinated with Pfizer, and I had COVID a month prior. But
so how long prior to this happening had you had your vaccination?
When they first brought it out, 2023. So I think I only got the mandatory ones to return to work.
So the two, the first two. Okay, so back to your theories.
Yeah, so my theory is they've lost the blood tests. Went through that process, 9-10 months after the episode, and got the testings done, and they're like, hey, you've got a genetic heart condition, and my whole family, apparently it's, from dad's side of the family, and it's gone this whole time, like lineage, the whole
time. Not picked up on at all.
Not being picked up at all.
No problems at all with anyone.
No one, nothing. Obviously people in family get blood tests and all that stuff. nothing. Father's been fine, sister's fine. We've not had any issues with our hearts.
So you're saying you try and take it back, because I did cut you off when you were about to say you truly believe that the
COVID vaccinations played a huge role in it.
Yes.
100%, no, without a doubt. And I know that within my own spiritual well-being.
Yeah.
And,
because we hear it a lot. I mean, there's still now people having heart attacks and dying. Yeah, healthy people.
Yeah. And I guess the conspiracy part of things is, okay, they've waited 8-9 months.
Yeah.
In order to contact to say, look, blood tests have been lost.
Yes.
I've got to start questioning, why is that? The blood would naturally cleanse itself from whatever.
So you think it's shown up something to do with the COVID vaccinations,
discarded it,
and they didn't want you to know that.
Liability,
right?
It would be a big court case.
Oh, yeah, well, it would be
like millions.
Yeah,
and
and then if there's you and this has happened to you, then how many other people are out there that have had something similar? Yeah,
it would completely everything would collapse.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, I get goosebumps talking about it, because I want to go over to Thailand and I want to go somewhere and get genetic heart tests.
And just have it done somewhere else to see what shows up.
Because I know within myself, and even my sister, for instance, we both say we don't have it, but we both don't have a heart condition.
So did it affect anyone else in your family?
No.
So just you, and did everyone else get vaccinated as well, or most? Yeah. So they had, so you're just the unlucky one that.
Probably the strongest one to carry the light with what's to come, if it is the truth.
So if you believe that, then do you feel like that having this cardiac arrest and stuff, like your heart has healed, right? So you feel like if you took this box out, like, I'm just questioning, because I am in no way, please, telling you to go take this thing out. I'm just saying, are you curious as to what would happen if you took it out?
Well, when I first got it in, within the first month, I was at I feel so sorry for my the genetic heart sisters, because within the first month, I was in there every single time I was there. I was like, "Can you please take it out?"
So
I was asking them. I was like, "I don't want it in me. Like, get it out. Like, I don't want it."
Well, it would have felt foreign, and
I just didn't want it. I just don't. Like, it's 10 years time. I got to get it replaced. It's like, I don't want it in me. Like, I want it out. And the stern talk that they had, and still to this day, because I still ask and say, look, I want it out. Because my only options are, if, I don't want the defib component, is do not resuscitate. And I just got to live with this. And still, in 10 years, get it replaced just for hygiene purposes.
Yeah, so just leave it in. It's easier to leave it in.
Yeah. The reason, it's not even easier. It's more, there was a lot of fear put into me about getting it out, that I was kind of like, okay, that's way up the pros and cons. The fear was, there's a higher chance that you die on the operating table getting this
taking it out.
Yeah, because the cable.
This is your heart's fused around it.
But even then, because the first month when I said it, they're like, look, even though it's been a month or 2 months, whatever long it was, it's like, whilst it's still early days, and you could still get it out if you really wanted to. Like, we're not going to fight you and say no. We just got to tell you, there is a high chance you can die on the operating table. Yeah.
So I think it's best you just leave it there.
Yeah, all they said, they said the longer you leave it, the more higher of a chance there is of you dying on the operating table, taking it out. Yeah. Because of how it's made and the little cable things.
Yeah, so you've just accepted it's just part of you now.
Yeah. I've just accepted, look, it is what it is. It's God's time, God's will.
I'm glad you're still here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're able to work out and still do most things.
Well, that's it. No purpose in pain. Well, no. Find purpose in pain. So obviously it's been a painful process, but the way I look at it now is there's something more for me to be here with what I've gone through and growing through and what I've had, and having this cardiac arrest, being in a coma for 3 days, coming out of that, Mum thinks that I did go somewhere, spiritually, possibly, or call it ether or whatever it is, and the fact I'm alive is a miracle. The fact I'm alive with my full consciousness and my full awareness is crazy. 1 in a trillion. Like, that was the stats. Yeah. 1 in a trillion chances to have a cardiac arrest, to have full brain function,
amazing,
to have no memory loss, to remember and have full memory recognition, to be fully who you were prior. 1 in a trillion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they were like,
that's just wild. Go girl! It's crazy when you think about it.
It's something that's higher than myself.
Yeah, you're meant to be here.
And it's something that is a bigger purpose. And, only time will tell what it's going to be. Yeah. But it's again no longer.
And you're still
about
so
me.
young too. So I mean, you've got your whole life
An
ahead
old
of you.
soul.
I know you're an old soul,
lives.
but
That's what I
you've still
say.
got your whole life ahead of you to
And that's
work
it.
out what it is that you've come back to give.
Come back to bring into fruition.
Yeah, but no, all right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. It's a crazy story, and I had actually forgotten about the little part about the COVID needles. So that was interesting that you threw that back